Right, we're getting started, man. What's up, everybody? I just went away for Pate to join, but I just want to tell you a little bit more about what I learned this weekend. I was actually joined with Judge Graham, and I was actually at his boot camp, AC boot camp.
It was fire, wasn't it?
Attack and conquer, baby. It was amazing, eye-opening. It took a little bit of. I think I'm gonna have to make some tough decisions moving forward. I think of a lot of people with the people here in this space. I felt like a lot of things that they need to do to really change their business.
Right.
And I saw that overall. I thought that the event was really more like the stuff was really more strategic than really tactical stuff. Most boot camps you go to, because I've been to a bunch of them, it's just really tactical stuff. And I don't get really a lot of experience from the people you hear about, like they've built actual 9-figure companies. Both you and Matt have done it with their business. So just very, very, very good stuff.
Yeah,
really thank you for that. Man.
Yeah, of course. So the biggest, and part of I think we're talking today is the importance of building a brand and the external and how you evangelize that market leader content, right?
Yeah. Put Pate right there.
Let's see if he can join in. We get that.
We're about to add Pate, Mr. Pate Smith, who's blown up the last 12 months. Cool, man. So I wanted to bring together Judge Graham and Pate Smith to this 30-minute BuzzFeed webinar. I'm not going to take a long time for you guys, but basically the whole thing is about how to build your brand and how to really build your brand for contractors, really, because it's a big challenge a lot of contractors face. So I want to introduce first Pate, and I'll talk, and then Judge will talk. So Pate, tell me a little bit what you do and what you're going to talk about.
So I'm Pate Smith. I work for Premier Claims. I'm a Nebraska public adjuster, and I'm our National Business Development Director. We represent contractors and insureds through insurance claims to maximize funds so that everybody gets correctly paid. We work in pretty much every state you can work, Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico. I think we're licensed in the Bahamas, so I'm sure we're about to run on some of the Dorian stuff, but yeah, that's what I do. Work on the Premier brand, my personal brand, and I get to work with amazing people like you guys and Landon Smith there.
Mr. Landon Smith, man, how are you, buddy? I'll introduce myself. I own and operate Roofing Marketing Pros. We're a digital advertising agency just focusing on helping roofing companies generate inbound leads through industry-specific digital marketing campaigns, right? So been in business about 2 years. The last 12 months, we've done about 15,000 inbound leads for our clients and close to $20 million in sales and profits for our clients. So I want to bring you three gentlemen together and really talk about how you guys built your brand, your business, and how this could really be implemented for roofing companies. So before we get to that, Judge, why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. Judge Graham, serial entrepreneur, written a couple books, Scale with Speed, Mastering Recurring Revenue. Have always been in the digital marketing space and have grown and sold 8- and 9-figure companies.
Nice. Awesome. Cool, man. So I want to thank you for you guys for joining. I really appreciate it. And we're going to talk more about really how to build your personal brand. And I'm going to let Pate, take the reins here because I'm very excited about how he did it. It's the last 12 months, man. I see you everywhere. I see you at different engagements, different speaking engagements. You're telling me about your $60 million deal about to close on the apartment complex. Man, congratulations, man. I hope you get that.
It's awesome.
And just tell me about you, how you did that for your business.
So, I think it's funny because you're like the last year, and it's really not about the last year. It's about, I guess, building myself and my brand over time. It's been not by accident, right? So you have to be super purposeful. And one of my goals that one of my mentors said to me, he was like, when you get into this space, he was like, you'll win if you can become, and I quote, the Kim Kardashian of claims.
Yeah.
And so I kind of
get your rich, brother.
Yeah. So I purposely set out. I have, a very organic social presence. I feel I try to post my life, what I do. I feel like I have a pretty fun life. I work a lot, but I try to show every portion of it. So I show the work portion because people are into that. I show my family and I show my lifestyle. And that's been a very purposeful situation. I try to put myself in front of as many people as I can a year. When I was running my previous personal development and professional development company, one of my goals was, I can remember when I was like struggling to get speaking engagements. I would like sit there and I'd pray. I'd be like, God, man, like, give me the opportunity to speak to like 50 people. Like, let me. And so then I can remember when I was like, all right, if I can just get one speaking engagement a month. And then I was like, if I can just get one speaking engagement a week. And now I probably have the opportunity to do anywhere between like 3 and 5 a week through webinar or something like that. But it's because like every single day I try to go out and purposely document my life, follow, I'll use the Anthony Robbins statement, stand on the shoulders of the giants that came before you. So I've taken people's ideas like Christian Guzman with some of his companies in fitness. Definitely people in the professional development world. I don't believe like all of Gary Vee's stuff, but I do like a lot of it. And really just sitting there, spending the 90 seconds a day that it takes to drop something on Instagram that connects with my potential audience. I sit there and, there's a lot of times I don't want to come up with a caption or take pictures of something because it's not really something that I want to do. But I know that it's the most organic and truthful form of marketing, and people are able to buy into me. And as a person and an entrepreneur, like no matter how big your business gets, unless you're a Domino's, a McDonald's, a Nissan, at the end of the day, as an entrepreneur, you sell you. And if I can passively create people buying into me through basically my lifestyle, speaking engagements, and connectivity, I think that's really been the key. And the fact that every single person that adds me on Facebook or Instagram, I send them a personalized message, which has is like really daunting. I mean, that's probably when I made that in 2017, I made that rule to myself that I would send every single person I connect with on Facebook a personalized message. I didn't like realize what that really meant. But gosh, I mean, and only one person ever has said, dude, why are you spamming me? I know that this isn't an actual message. You have somebody writing this. And I'm like, no, literally every single person, I write them a message, and it may be like, hey, thanks for connecting with me. My name's Pate. I don't know if you're in restoration or what, but I'd love to connect. Or if it's property management or whatever, I tailor it to them if I see what markets they work. And then I genuinely try to connect with people. So storm restoration contractors are big for us at Premier Claims. And I connect with a lot of them through conferences and work, but, probably property management, investment trusts, and multi-property owners are our biggest client. And they're the most difficult people to get in touch with. I feel like individuals that have a couple hundred million, couple billion in assets are difficult to get on the phone because they have so many gatekeepers to get to them. But if I can get them to buy into me, I can do more with one Facebook message than I ever can with cold calls. I don't ever outbound call.
Let me ask you, I'm curious, how do you actually get those property managers or those people that have investment properties following you on Facebook?
I mean, I call it the spiral approach. Like, you start getting a couple, you engage with the ones that you know already inside of your client base, and you grow out from there. I mean, literally, it's networking strategically through your social media. There's an individual in Colorado that I connected with this way, and he owns hundreds of millions of dollars in properties that are exact type of properties that we want to work with. And I tried to get this guy on the phone 2 years ago. Nothing. I mean, and when I try to get people on the phone, dude, I mean, I will call you for a year. It ain't nothing for me. Like, I will die before I don't get you. You know what I'm saying? And I got this guy added me on actually added me on Instagram because of he's an Asian American Hotel Owners Association member, and so are we. And we connected that way. I saw he liked a couple of my pictures, and then he gave the clap hands on one of my stories. I shot him a message, and we're about to do a considerable deal with him, which I feel super blessed to get.
Good stuff.
But I think it's about that outreach, man. It's like you attack by land, air, and sea. And for me is Facebook Messenger, stories, Instagram direct message. And I mean, Instagram's great because, particularly if I was a roofing contractor, I think it's the most underutilized tool. Do you want me to go into that or no?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I just make sure I'm not going too far off the trail. But I would say most roofing contractors have a horrible Instagram presence. And Precision actually does a really good job on their Facebook page with their whole We Build Pretty Roofs thing. That's a scalable idea, the whole We Build Pretty Roofs, because they're able to show what they're doing and people buy into that, right? Yeah. And they can buy into not we're selling, we do this. They're buying into the fact that they're a niche contractor in historic tile and copper. And that has a visual effect. So I would blow that out on Facebook. If I was them, I would have their crews documenting this process. I would have their guys as their own inspections doing the sales. And so that way, these people that are your one or two property managers that may follow them are then going to engage. And then from there, you spiral into their friends who are what? Other property managers, other multi-property owners. Every guy that we work with that owns 50 properties is friends with guys that own 50 properties. And that's who they want to work with. But the problem is people won't spend the 90 seconds a day to have the forethought into building your brand, because it's not natural. I'm not naturally a dude who likes to get up and speak in front of people. It took me years of working in speaking in 4-H and working in Toastmasters, right? And that same thing being said, I suck at pictures on Instagram. I look at people's videos and stories and how artfully they're done, and I think, man, mine stink. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because people don't judge me on that. They're buying in to pay. Yeah. And I mean, I feel like that's how I've been able to do it. And another thing is the number of followers you have don't matter. It doesn't matter. It's the number of people that actually engage with you. If I have 4,000 something Facebook friends, and I'm casually having to tailor it off to people that I actually work with, which is unfortunate, and family members and friends, because of the 5,000 follower issue, our friend issue on Facebook. But I try to interact with those people.
You don't have that problem on LinkedIn, by the way. Just FYI, Facebook gives you the 5 distance. And actually,
the 5K limit.
5,000 friends. So we're not even friends on Facebook. But LinkedIn, you can go as high as you want. And LinkedIn is kind of trying to compete with Facebook in terms of engagement. That's the next step. And Instagram obviously doesn't have that problem because you have as many followers as you want. I
like LinkedIn, but my method there is massively different than my method for Facebook or Instagram. Facebook and Instagram is nearly the same move. LinkedIn is massively more tailored. And Facebook and Instagram is like me taking a machine gun and shooting it out into the world every day. With LinkedIn, man, it's like I have a spear and I'm digging it directly into the individuals that I want to go after. And I'm doing it with the direct value I can bring. If you spam people on LinkedIn, is it effective? Yeah. I just think it's I I think you end up losing engagement more than gaining engagement. And that's like, I can go into a long diatribe on that, and I'm not.
Sure.
But I mean, I think that's how I've done it, is like purposeful engagement with people. And then I have like a 33% rule. So I do 33% business, 33% fun, and 33% family. I learned that from a Instagram influencer that's a girl, and she does like 33% fitness, 33% hot pics of her, and 33% food. And I was like, that 33% rule is really good. If I was a roofing company, the way I would do that is I would do 33% of interaction inside your community. So projects, going to events, Chamber of Commerce events, networking events. I would do 33% fun that my company does. If I've got a bowling, whatever, somebody's kids running around, anything that people can connect on, right? And then I would do 30% of your actual business. So if you're doing shingle roofs, I'd have my pictures of my crews out there just working really hard. And I'd be like, man, it's 110 degrees, but our guys at Pro Roofing are still out here putting on roofs. Please let us know if there's anything that we can do.
Yeah.
Right. And then that one, people are going to buy in. Now, that may be your lowest liked thing, but likes don't matter. What matters is sales that you get off of it, or engagement that you can get off of it that then you can later roll into sales. I only have I used to have like 40 something hundred Instagram followers. That's nothing. That's nothing. But I get sales every week off of Instagram.
Nice.
I got 2 hotels off a dude shot me a DM, and I was like, perfect, man. Yeah. Shoot over your policy information. We'll get it scoped. Take a look. 3 days later, DocuSign, never talked the guy on the phone.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So we signed a $1.7 million deal off of Facebook Messenger. Never talked to anyone. Just straight up text, DocuSign, had the thing inspected. After the inspection, boom, let's roll. I tell people all the time, I don't know if there's ever been a more powerful tool in connectivity and business than direct messaging.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I have the same struggles with you that you did, right? I'm not really comfortable speaking in front of a camera or getting on stage, but I did the same thing myself. What I did is build my personal brand especially with the roofing contractors. I posted a lot of content through these different Facebook groups, just helpful content for a year and a half. Just building value and credibility without actually selling anything. So that's really how I built that following on that. What I think that the way you're doing is basically any roofing contractor, any roofing company can do the same thing. And I know a couple people that are actually watching. Landon Smith is one of them. That he does it himself. Dustin Gorowski, he does the same thing himself in Dallas. All the things you're talking about, I've heard from a guy like Landon. He goes out, he actually goes to different job sites and takes pictures of the actual job site and explains what happened with the actual customer and tells that story. And when they tag the actual customer on Facebook, when that happens, is that customer shares it on their own profile, and that their friends see that on their Facebook profile, so it creates a network effect, right? And that's really how it works with this program. It's really doing that with that. It creates a network effect. So it's kind of you're generating warm leads in your market. It's not really cold leads, it's warm leads. So that's really one of the most effective tools you can use. Your iPhone can be like a missile that can really be used effectively to grow your business. And
notice he didn't say Android, people. If you're using an Android, you need to get out of that garbage.
Yeah, actually, I used an Android last year for like a long time. I started using an iPhone this year, so I don't know. We're all iPhone users now, but yeah, man. And another thing I want to talk about is that when you do things like that, when you build your personal brand, it makes selling easier. It just makes it a lot easier. People connect with you. You don't have to go through the whole process. And they don't look at you as a roofing salesman. They look at you as a roofing professional, roofing expert. And that makes a big difference in the grand scheme of things, right? Because a person, really anybody, can have literally hundreds of options on their phone with any roofing contractor, right? Why should they choose you, right? That's one of the things if a small business owner has to understand is these guys, they do like all these stuff online, and they're like a ghost completely ghost. There are no reviews, nothing online, no social media presence, and they rely on the door knock, which is still effective, right? It still teaches you how to sell. But long term, I don't think that's the best strategy moving forward, man. What do you think?
I can tell you this. If I was a roofing salesperson, I would be very concerned if I was not on the first page of Google. Not right now, but there'll come a point in time, I think pretty quickly, where people no longer search, let's say mechanically in Google, but you're going to just use, say like, hey Google, connect me to a Hale professional roofer. Please connect me to a roofer, something of that. If you're not, and Google's going to make the decision for you. And if you're not there now, you're going to have to pay a lot of money to be the person Alexa or Google or whoever connects you with, man. And if I'm a roofer right now, that would be a massive concern of mine, because that's coming probably in 24 months.
Yeah. What do you think, Judge?
Yeah, listen, you've got to be strategic and intentional, right? I mean, the phone is becoming more prevalent. There's a stat in the boot camp I just talked about yesterday. 87% of all content, fucking 87% is going to be video. Okay, so if you're not strategic and you're not intentional, what I mean by that, excuse me, is you mentioned earlier niche, right? I believe niche will get you rich. Go an inch wide, go a mile deep. So if you're a roofer, what's the fucking niche, right? Is it the custom roof that you just talked about, restoration, right? Own that niche, be intentional in it, get a ton of content around it to position you as the authority, right? And what I mean by authoritative content is you need customers praising that you're the best within that niche. You need reviews validating that. You should write a book, right, or a white paper on the practices and the do's and don'ts of restoring a historic roof. Why? Because that is intentional and position you as an authority, right? So not only do I believe in social, but if you're not strategic and intentional with it, then you're doing it for no purpose, right? So you need to be purposeful. You need to own a niche. You've got to create credibility assets. You've got to show why you're the market leader, and then you have to have purposeful content that builds trust, delivers value. Then they see you as the authority, and you quit. It's not transactional at that point as a sale. They're already bought in because you're the freaking authority. You're the leader. You own the niche. You have the content. You wrote the book. You're the expert.
What do you think about when probably you guys can answer this, about a lot of contractors are afraid of sharing that knowledge they have because a competitor might see it and they're afraid that
all right, I'm gonna tell you this. I get this all the time, like from roofing contractors. Oh, I don't want so and so to know what I'm doing. I don't want so and so to know where I'm at. I feel like in public adjusting, nobody's better at brand building than me. Maybe there are people, but like I want to see them so that I can learn from them and copy them. But my thing is like I want everybody to see exactly what I do, because I want them to try to go after the same clients I do, because it's just going to make me better, because I'm going to continue to evolve. And nobody's going to like spend the time to do it. Like, all right, beat me. Like you can know every single thing I know. And I'm not saying this cocky. I'm saying this is like, I'll work my ass off, so beat me. Like, you want to know where I'm at? Know where I'm at. You want to know, I don't hide the conferences I go to. I don't hide the fact that I speak to contractors. I go after the Asian American Hotel Owners Association. I go after large investment trusts. Like, know that. Like, don't be scared of that. Like, realize it's just going to make you better, make your content better, because you're going to have to beat them and continue to step up your game. And there's so much money out there, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
there's so many opportunities.
If you're concerned about the competition, you're constantly in scarcity mode, and you're constantly playing catch up and me too, right? If you want to be the freaking leader, the market leader, you're not scared. You're out there, you're delivering it, and you become the innovator, not the person trying to catch up. So if you're scared to put it out there, you're always going to be in last.
Got it.
Period.
I mean, I actually had a roofing company owner who was very successful. I'm not going to say his name. he was concerned with the content he was putting out, and that was a real situation. And I thought he was like kind of looking at a different perspective. I thought it was the wrong perspective, right? Because he one of the things he mentioned was, oh, I don't want to teach other contractors what I'm doing. And I think that's kind of wrong perspective. I mean, if you do that, I think you can use that. I told him you can use that as a recruiting strategy, right? You can actually use that as a recruiting strategy because if people, even contractors, if they see you as an expert, they want to come work for you, right?
100%. But in the niche, own something,
Yeah.
right? Own a category to be the authority, and you don't have to worry about market share. Be the leader. If you're trying to be this, you're gonna fucking lose. Be this and go win.
Cool. And what do you think about your niche? Like, it seems like your niche is more like large loss commercial deals. Is that right? Or
Man, not really. I mean, I will say that I know a lot of people love my hashtag, hashtag the large loss loafers. Man, that hashtag has made me a lot of sales that I never had to do anything for. They just came in. I'm actually wearing one of the triple L's today, but I think that's my niche has been a lot of going after those big deals, but also, man, like another thing that I think that sells us is one of our rules is sheds to malls. We do it all. We believe that if you're a properly built out public adjusting firm, that you should be there we say we'll take your good ones and we'll take your bad ones. So, it costs us probably $3,000 to $5,000 per file to do a file internally with all our costs, etc. We have over 60-person team now in Omaha, actually maybe like 40 something depending on who's in and out that week, but those people cost money, and so it'd be great to decrease our costs by decreasing the amount of claims but just doing big claims. But I feel like that doesn't service the market, so we came from a very service perspective, so we take anything, but I'm very specific in what I market in going after the large loss because that really pays the bills. It takes $100,000 claim for every million, and then it takes $33,000 claim for every $100,000 claim. So when you start adding that up, it's a lot easier to do the $1 million claims and $5 million claims than it is the 33s because it's usually the same ish amount of work, same amount of hands touch the file. But I think it's just been things like the large loss loafers, the videos when I'm on a giant hail smoked roof and we sit there and I sit with a contractor on the roof and we talk about it, or we joke about, the fact that the roof's completely smoked and we have pictures of it, but the carrier denied it, we'll pretend to be blind or something up there, and I feel like that's been really my niche. Is my ability to market through humor really inside of a not very funny business.
Yeah, but you're being authentic, right? I mean, you're being authentic and you're showing the process, right? A lot of people, it's like they want to see that you're making the sausage, right? I mean, you're on the roof, you're doing it, you're explaining it, you're positioning yourself as the authority because you're doing it through action. And you're just cataloging it through video and social. So
that's a great point.
That's it, man.
Now, Judge, how did you once you've exited your companies, how do you build your own personal brand? What is the strategy you use to do that yourself?
Listen, it's one in the age of so many gurus, right? It's like there's so many fake people out there. One, I believe you gotta have a real resume, right? Google me right now, Judge Graham. I've got a real resume. Right, so all my accomplishments are documented and can be found. So that gives me a jump point, right? So then I've written books, right? I have all these credibility assets. I've got client videos. I've got testimonials. I'm at events. I just hosted an event. I'm speaking. I'm doing those things. I'm practicing what I preach, right? I work within a niche. I help small businesses, $1 million to $50 million, scale and potentially put them in for an exit. I'm owning my niche and I'm building massive content and assets around that niche based on a proven resume that I bring to market with results.
Nice. And how one of the things I actually took away from this event was one of the credibility things you can do for your business, a roofing company, is actually state on your website, your marketing materials, or whatever materials you're using, or it could be a marketing brochure or whatever you're using to sell, how many actually jobs you completed of that specific job. For example, if you're a metal roofing contractor, how many metal roofing projects have you done in 4 years, whatever, right?
More important, can you get every one of those people on video saying how amazing the freaking roof is and why they should select you?
Yeah, so they should be building not only case studies, video testimonials, reviews, Google, Facebook reviews, all these different platforms, even Yelp reviews, anything you can use to build that credibility, because you have to overcome the skepticism of people.
Right. Get third-party validation. We talked about in the event, right? I mean, so not only proof points. Listen, take the mindset of, well, you're not selling anymore. You're externally presenting to authority. Okay. And what I mean by that is there a credible award you can win that shows you is the best roofer ever that's validated by a third party that's credible within the roofing industry? Guess what? You're not beating your chest that you're the best. The third-party validator is validating that to consumer, giving you the authority and the ability to win the contract.
Awesome. Cool. So I think that's about 35 minutes, but any last things you want to point out, Pete?
I really liked the Google Me Judge Graham portion there. My resume's there. That's probably, I took that away as something that like I definitely need to work on. Like that's probably a pain point of mine that I definitely need to address and probably will with.
Dude, you should come to my next boot camp. How far was this shit?
Amazing, bro. Amazing.
acbootcamp.com, November, man. I'd love to see you there.
Where's it at?
We host it right here. We're in the room. We just finished the one. It's in Grapevine, Texas. You fly into DFW, you're in and out in a day and a half, and it's straight fire.
Why don't we do this? I'll check your. Shoot me your address. I'll check it on our software for hail. If it's hit, I'll come. We'll get the thing going, and then we'll shoot content while we do your house.
Get the market leader content. I'll give you my zip code, not my address. 76034.
All right, we'll get it going, gents.
All right, hey man.
Good seeing you, Colin.
Go.